Good morning, everybody. Happy half holiday, half market trade day as we start cruising into the week here. We have some big data coming out 7:30, of course. Friday is the close, so jobless claims, huge employment report, a little bit of stuff for, trade services, ISM, 9 a.m., and then a little bit later on. So I want to do a couple little live trade videos here, do some explanations because we got data in about 5 minutes. We're going to trade on the ES side of things, the safer market for this morning in the low volume. I just want to show you an in-between here at what I'm looking at because we have the 1 minute and 5 minute charts. I just did this for my crew yesterday. And right now, a couple key points, okay? So if we bring this chart over here, we're going to notice that the S&P 500 is way above yesterday's highs, okay? Yesterday's highs way down here and close. Obviously, a super big smash up there for the run, okay? Now, is this going to be a gap and go in full-on move where the S&P 500 stays above yesterday's highs and cruises data? Well, I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't really matter to us. So we got the 5 minute here on the right panel, 1 minute on the left, and we are looking inside the 5 minute candle, right? So let me put these on different things. We can see them, different drawings. So your 5 minutes on your right, your 1 minute on the left, and you notice here that 1 minute has 3 golden pocket no tag 1 minutes. The 5 minute is outside of the range, so we're going to come down here into that 1618 yesterday's close as we come into the 7:30 data, right? So for like the easy stuff, oh, not 5, 3. There we go. So for the easy watches here, obviously the minute chart's going to be coming into that 666 support. We just had a huge jump under the 10, obviously getting out before data there a little bit, so on and so forth. But once we see support or resistance here made after data, we can have some knowledgeable choices. So you see here on the 1 minute side of things, it's already down at the 1618, fibbing out the high low of the triple 1 minute, and then utilizing the 5 minute, we haven't quite made it yet to the 1618. So they're giving us different information, which is fine. Right now, we need to see if the VIX needs to go attack some of that stuff as far as resistance checks goes as well. So right now the VIX just kind of lost all of its support. We're under the 100 EMA, but we have a lot of targets upside. This leads me to believe that we are going to see a pop to drop scenario, right? Coming back up here. So what I usually like to do in those scenarios, right, is prep for news. And this is only done on ES. I don't like to do anything else here. So let's say I get into right here, right? And the first golden pocket for the high low here, got 1 minute, 1 minute. We're going to go for that center one, right? Or the easiest of both, 6281. So 6281. I marked it in. We're going to lose that in between here. Initially, I wanted to do, I'm so used to NQ having a little bit more range. That's fine though. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a green move above the 1618 5 minute. That's not the right tool. To the 5 minute GP. So we're going to expect a pop, right? And that's because inside this 5 minute candle holds 3 no-tag GPs. So we have a very good chance of going up and hitting the 5 minute golden pocket. So 62.8275, right? Well, 62.8275, not very far away, unfortunately. So we're going to put our limits out there for that one. And that's what we're going to see for the move, right? And if we get a downside 6277, right? So let's say the data clicks down quick and goes back up. Well, that'll be a bounce point at the 1618. We'll deal with it then. So with the two things going on right here, we're going to see a pop to drop. And I assume the wick is going to come up here and fill these for data, because right now when you see a 5 minute and 3 GPs inside the 5 minute, very strong magnet, right? So we're just going to watch for that one. We're going to watch for the GP to click back up here. And the VIX is kind of tearing apart. As we said, it just broke all supports. So we should be able to at least click up, get a little freebie here to the upside. And again, it's not a whole lot of points, but I'm probably going to try to get another bid in here. Order filled and order filled. Holy flippers. Well, that's one way to make 6 grand. Okay, well. All right, well, I didn't have enough time to break down the rest of the thesis. So why did I think it was going to pop first and go at least to here and then add so we could go continue? The whole trade was developed off the NQ gap. So last but not least, we'll go over that. I was hoping I had more time to explain the rest of this. So 1 minute gap on NQ existed in two different places. Overnight, I called 22,900 for my group in Discord. It was going to come up to 22,900 for the high. We got that, no problem. This gap was the last piece of the puzzle I wanted to talk about right here. NQ had 1, 2 no GPs, but we left this gap open, okay? So between ES having everything we discussed in the early part of the video here, where you come into triple no tag GP5, the algos have a good chance to slap back towards those, right? So remember the 1 minute chart that we just covered, we had the 3, and then the 5 minute obviously is inside that. And then we had the gap on NQ. The gap on NQ plus all of the algo magnets we had above us were screaming that she was going to roll back up. And then, of course, the volatility index broke down all support, lost the 100 EMA, lost the 200, and was most likely going to start heading back down to some of the farther targets we had for the gap fill that's still open down here at 1632. So that being said, we had a long bias into the news and then a drop potential, but first, obviously long. So the last part of our little thesis here is to grab the candles that were created here on the 1 minute chart. We'll show you how these work for funsies as well. So on the 1 minute chart, we have the data starting. We already got the GP. I'm really slow this morning here. And we'll do the same thing on the SPY side. All right, so I'll show you how to play the ending 1 and ending 5 here on data. So once you get a data candle, we'll do lesson number 2 here. You're going to fib out that 5 minute data candle because this 5 minute candle is being created and we are watching the inside of that creation on the 1 minute and we're holding the golden pocket. So what we want to see is the 5 minute, make a choice to come back down here at the proper time. I need to see the time. There we go. 7:32:30. So we got just about halfway through the candle here. The 5 minute. So what you want to see is the candles start to fill up green up here on the 5 minute. And then when the new 5 minute candle starts, to head down to the golden pocket of the 5 minute, okay? So we're going to watch for strength on the 1 minute, kind of clicking up back into here. Let's say 623. Worst case scenario is it comes above the 100 and goes for here, which we can assess at the end of that. But we had 3 minutes into this candle. And what we want to see is a full green candle kind of push back up in the next couple minutes here. So the 5 minute is filled up to that 100%, so it has a drop to the GP. And if it doesn't do that, that just means the 1 minute's weak and it's just going to consolidate at the GP and then further down because we wanted a pop to drop anyway, and then we'll reassess. So the second trade for the pop to drop to watch is going to high-low your data to the downside, make sure both extensions are on, and then we usually pick from the golden pocket, right? So is it above the golden pocket for the 1 minute to the green side, or is it under the golden pocket to the red side? And of course, that's our job to figure out. So we're going to see what these open like and do a little tradey trade here. So bring this up, and these are all of our top 1 accounts here that are linked. That was a little too much money to make on that huge push that we had made, but whatever. We're going to go down to 1 ES and kind of show you how we mix match the data here. So we got 3 minutes, 59 seconds-ish here. We got 1 more minute of the 5. So again, best case scenario is we slowly push to the top side of things here. I'm going to start setting some limit orders to sell, and see if we can't get a little push back up towards here, right? Just top of the 5 minute candle like we're talking about. And what we want to see is 623 be the rejection point, which it could pop up there if it wants to, but doesn't have anything crazy. What you want to do is anchor the data as well. So on the bottom middle of the screen, you're going to see the open, high, low, close 4. That's our setting for these. And the new 5 minute candle comes out in less than 20 seconds. Again, we're not getting that candle filled up like it's supposed to up here. So that is a shame. We needed to get it a little higher here. We need the 1 minute. Okay, there's one. We need the 1 minute to come up. There you go. That's what we needed to do right there. And then coming back down to the 5 minute GP wherever this opens up. So it's not a whole lot of points because this 5 minute is pretty much dead range. But when the new 5 minute comes, there we go. And now it's going to be able to come down to the GP here, which again, just got to stay under the fib and down to the GP is about 5 points. So we'll see if that plays out cleanly here. So again, I got my 1 order filled, top of the candle, so on and so forth. And then we just need it to come down This is just an example, so we're just going to do some smaller trades since we already made a bunch. And it's like 4 or 5 points. So again, our average is 94, so we are only going to go to about 91 and a half or so, and that's going to be kind of that 50 GP. So again, if this wants to start boosting back up, we already hit the Anchor View app as support on the 1 minute, but the 5 minute should take precedent for the magnet here. So as long as it's under 62.83, whoop, right down, fill the golden pocket, and then it can do whatever it wants. So all we're doing is waiting for a tiny little cooldown here. I could have had a couple more limit orders filled up here for that one to come down, but just an example here because we don't want to make too much more money. Let's make it an even 2,000 and some change here, because fib to fib, GP to GP, that's what we want to look for here as well. The 1 minute's doing order filled. Okay, the 1 minute's doing really good too for the 10 SMA catch up. So a lot of the time we play first tag 10 SMA catch up, and it pushes a little gap right here, runs around the 10 SMA, puts the first or second candle in, and then comes down for the 10. There's that GP right there. So those are a couple instances on the news pieces I like to run for fibs between the 1 minute and the 5 minute. Generally, if the 5 minute gets trapped under that 100, you got a few points down. Usually we do this with NQ because it's obviously way more rangy, way more fun on the low volumes, but we're just messing around because it's a half day Holloway on the ES. So hopefully that makes sense. A couple different algo magnets, a couple different reasons why things could go up and then potentially back down. So the rest of the prediction for the day is going to be completely curated on what the news piece here does. So for the rest of the day, you're going to look for anything under the 5 minute GP will get a gap fill potential. So it's going to look like this. And then if it doesn't want to do a little bit of gap fill and just kind of hover at all-time highs, which we're going to be at, you'll look for the vice versa. You're going to look for it to start cranking out to 620, 371, and 64. And when everything opens up, and of course the VIX has to do a reopen, and you'll get some more data on the 5 minutes, so on and so forth, you'll see which way she wants to go. In my opinion, I think we're going to come back down to yesterday's highs, but we're pretty much locked out here. We've got a nice little day to start, data end on the week here. And that's that. So pick your poison over under that 50. My assumption is at least coming down to yesterday's highs. So we do have another under GP down to yesterday's highs, 18 points. So you guys take care, trade safe. If you guys ever want to trade live, I do stream live 8 a.m. every morning. Links in the description. You want to win some cash money this weekend during a live lesson on YouTube, all you got to do is be subscribed, like the video, comment. We use the random comment picker, and that's it. Talk to you guys then. Take care.